Hey everyone, it's Sarah, and today we are going to be talking about the new fragrance from Dreamhouse Ikiryo called Everywhen and Then Again. The sale ends tomorrow, so I wanted to get on here. Vincent sent over a full bottle. I still don't know what the notes are in it, but I thought it would be fun today to sit here and sniff and see if we can't figure out the notes together. And if you have not yet placed an order and plan to, maybe this video will help you figure out what all the notes are and win that contest, which I hope, as always, I've been saying it the whole time, I hope it's two of mine that win. So anyways, he also was so kind and sent over a bottle of the Swan Maiden, which is also a new fragrance from the house. I absolutely adore this one. This one is going to be for like my vintage floral lovers. If you love the way that vintage fragrances smell, but you're not really comfortable wearing vintage fragrances because I mean, to be completely honest, vintages can sometimes be challenging. Then this one here, the Swan Maiden, is for you. This is a vintage leaning fragrance, and it will give you all of those beautiful vintage vibes, but without making you smell dated. Like, you're still gonna smell very modern. You're gonna smell very modern and very niche. I love these fragrances. I never feel more confident than when I'm wearing one of my Dreamhouse Ikiryos. Just because when I walk around out in public in one of my Dreamhouse fragrances, number one, I know that nobody else is going to smell like me. Number two, I know that when people smell me, they're going to be so intrigued, and they just smell good. They just, every single one. I told Vincent yesterday, he is incapable of making a bad fragrance. He just makes, everything that he makes is just like a new discovery and just so amazing. So anyways, let's get into it. Let's start with the Swan Maiden, and then we'll end with Everywhen, because this one is the one that we need to figure out what the notes are. I know what a few of the notes are, but I have no idea what the whole note breakdown is. Okay, so let's start with the Swan Maiden. And that's another thing I wanted to talk about these, because these are both available to purchase. And I didn't feel like I spent enough time on the fragrances that are actually available to buy. I talked about 9 different fragrances, 7 of which I think about 5 of those 9 have not been released yet. So I thought it would be good to spend some time with the ones that you can purchase. Okay, so the Swan Maiden, this is such an amazing scent. So it says, originally conceived to be the perfect bridal scent, the Swan Maiden is an artistic interpretation inspired by the fable of the same name and featuring the aptly named forget-me-not flower, as well as stephanotis, a blossom used in bridal bouquets. So the notes on this one are forget-me-not, honey, lotus, stephanotis, white rose, moss, ambergris, ambroxan, vetiver, castoreum, cocoa, aquatic notes, and ozonic notes. And I'm just gonna say right now, Vincent uses cocoa in an amazing way. Every perfume that he uses cocoa in is phenomenal, and this is no different. This really does kind of smell like the perfect bridal scent. It's a little bit vintage, but really modern smelling. It's floral without being too, oh my gosh. It's floral without being too like in your face floral. And they're more kind of vintage smelling florals. It's not a sweet floral. There's a touch of a powderiness. There's a cleanliness to it. It's got maybe the slightest bit of a sweetness, but it's not what I would consider to be a sweet fragrance. It's beautiful. If you've ever smelled stephanotis before, it is a white floral. The only other perfume that I can think of off of the top of my head that has stephanotis in it is Chloe Love Story. So it is a white floral, but it's almost got like a slight bit of a spiciness to it. So for me, it definitely falls under more of a kind of vintage smelling floral. This is something that I can imagine somebody smelling like back in the like late 1800s. It's amazing, but without smelling dated, without smelling overly simple. it's just beautiful. It's always so hard for me to explain these scents because it's just, there aren't many fragrances on the market that smell like this. This one, though, I will say, this one, I do think that you have to have some appreciation for vintage fragrances to enjoy this. It's very modern smelling and really beautiful and very niche smelling, but it does lean vintage. I love it. It's clean. It's almost a dry floral. It's not super sweet. It almost smells a little bit herbaceous. It's just stunning. And Forget Me Not. Forget Me Not is definitely a kind of vintage leaning, kind of dry smelling floral. I love it. This is going to be perfect in the warm weather because it's more of a fresh, dry floral. It's not an overly sweet or sickening floral. It's just beautiful. It's stunning. It's another masterpiece, and I absolutely love it. So that is one of the newest fragrances. That is Swan Maiden. Okay, now let's talk about Everywhen. Before we move on, let me show you the artwork on the bottle, or the imagery on the bottle. So the photography is always just gorgeous. Vincent does the photography himself. He makes the costumes himself. So he made that white dress. He made the wig, all the jewelry, everything. And it's just amazing. And then you've always got your different colored wax that kind of coincides with the imagery on the bottle. I mean, just beautiful. I love it. Okay, and then let's look at the new Everywhen and Then Again bottle. So if you've been following along on the contest and if you saw the videos on the Dreamhouse website, then you will recognize these drawings, which Vincent did these drawings himself as well. And then we've got some beautiful kind of soft yellow flowers. I love this bottle. I love all the gray, like the different shades of gray, and then the pop of yellow and some white, and then the silver wax. It's just beautiful. So, gosh, this one, you guys. This one is so good. This one is a more masculine leaning fragrance, but there's not a single Dreamhouse fragrance that to me is too masculine for a woman to wear. Everything is very unisex. This one is no different. Oh my gosh, this is it's a masterpiece. Since the sale is ending tomorrow, I'm gonna give a few hints. Obviously, one of my clues was patchouli. I hope that that was super obvious for everybody. And I can definitely smell the most beautiful kind of dry, woody patchouli in this, but it's sweetened up by something. There's the most beautiful kind of slightly powdery sweetness to this fragrance. This is phenomenal. It smells kind of old world, but without smelling vintage at all. This is not a fragrance that I would describe as vintage leaning, just because the patchouli in it is, it's just so gorgeous. There's definitely a beautiful cleanliness in the base. This one is a little bit sweet. It's really warm smelling. It smells like it's got some kind of a gorgeous spice in it. I have no idea if it does, but it smells like it's got some kind of a sweet spice or a sweet resin. It's phenomenal. I have not given this one a full wear test because it just came in the mail yesterday, and I was so like stunned. And also he did send a little sample, which I'll talk about this one a little bit, but I don't want to distract you too much with this one, even though this is something else that he's working on that is just amazing. But I really want this video to really focus on Everywhen and the Swan Maiden, since these are the two newest fragrances. And if you're interested in either of these, you can grab them before the sale is over. This one, between the two, I love them both. It's hard for me. It's like saying, you know, it's like picking out a favorite child. I can't do that. So I could never pick out a favorite Dreamhouse fragrance, but between this one and Swan Maiden, this one is just, it's just phenomenal. I'm going to spray, in fact, I'm going to spray it on. I've got another perfume on, but I don't care. Oh my gosh, it's perfection, you guys. I mean, it is just absolute perfection. This is for my girls out there that don't like overly feminine fragrances, that don't like overly feminine florals. Somebody that tends to lean more towards a woody fragrance, I think you would absolutely love this. It's so, I mean, I can't even tell you how gorgeous it is. I can't wait for the notes reveal, which I believe Vincent's going to be revealing the notes tomorrow when the sale ends. And I can't wait. This is a perfect, like, I'll wear this fragrance any time of year, but I think that this would just be phenomenal in cooler weather. I think it would, in fact, I think this is one that's gonna just, it's gonna smell differently depending on what weather you wear it in. If you wear it in warmer weather, you're gonna get different things, or you're gonna have a different experience. And I think if I wore this in cold weather, I would have a different experience in cold weather. It's amazing. It smells amazing on skin, and which I'm very, very lucky. Every single Dreamhouse Ikiryo fragrance that I've ever sprayed on my skin, which has been most of them, has just worked for me. They just smell really good on me, and I'm so grateful for that. This one is no exception. It's amazing. It's a little bit, I even get a little bit of a it's almost like a fruity citrus, but it's not like overly fruity. I would never characterize this as a fruity fragrance, but there's a little bit of a fruity aspect to it. But there's the most beautiful spiced warmth to this one, and it definitely has a gorgeous kind of dryish woody patchouli note. It's amazing. I love this fragrance. I just can't tell you enough how amazing this perfume is. So anyways, that is the Everywhen and Then Again fragrance, and this one is available on the website. Both this and the Swan Maiden are available on the website. Yeah, and I definitely know a few of the notes that are in here, but I can't wait for the note reveal. And then he also did send a little sample. All I know about this one is it's got some plum in it, and it is the most gorgeous fragrance. I sprayed this just on my hand yesterday as I was running out of the house. This, I could smell every time I moved my hand. I was getting a whiff of this, and I could smell it for a good like 6 hours with just one spray on the top of my hand, and not even a full spray, like a half a spray on the top of my hand, and I could smell it for hours. Like, I'm gonna say at least 6 hours, because I was out of the house for probably 7 hours, and I could still smell it. Like, if I put my nose to my hand, I could still smell it after 7 hours. It's amazing, but I don't want to talk too much about that one again, because I don't even really know what it is. And these two, Everywhen and Then Again, and then the Swan Maiden, are phenomenal. So those are the two newest fragrances from Dreamhouse. I'm so excited for the sale to end and to see who won the prizes. I hope that this video was helpful. If you haven't placed an order yet and are planning on it, I hope that this video helped with knowing if you wanted to order one of the two new fragrances. I do hope that you all enjoyed this. If you did, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe before you leave, and super good luck to you. I hope that 2 of you are the contest winners. Bye.